up, nerd family? Welcome once again to the Poindexter Lounge, and this is a special video, brand new. We're just doing a brand new thing just for you who support our Patreon. I've told you guys that you guys were going to get exclusive content, and now we're going into 2020. We've got a few of you, and I'm so thankful for each and every one of you. Now, just to explain this, and this will just be this first video to explain to you what's going on. Obviously, you guys know what's going on with the COPPA law, and there's still a lot of gray area. There's still a lot of not knowing what's going to happen, and a lot of people like it when I do toy reviews, and I haven't really done toy reviews in a while, not because I don't have toys, because Lord knows I've got a ton of toys. No, I just haven't done it because I've been concerned that I don't want the channel to get flagged for being for kids. And I know that there's a lot of great toy channels out there that pretty much exclusively do toy reviews, and they're kind of on that, you know, that bubble as well. And so until I get more clarification on that, I've been just like trying to hold off on that. But I realized something, and that is we've got Patreons and we need content for the Patreon. And I know that some of you guys who are supporting the Patreon, you guys love the toy reviews. And so here's what we're gonna do. The toy reviews are exclusively for the Patreon. So hey, if you support the channel, and that's why you're here, thank you so much. I really appreciate your support. It means so much to me and the rest of the nerd family. So I thought it was fitting that for the very first toy review video that we review something that is brand new, that's not been out for a while, but is brand new. It's brand spanking new. Basically, it's new. And that is these new McFarlane Toys DC Universe figures. And so I've got Superman here, and we're gonna talk about this and review this figure. So why don't you join me as we do the first ever Patreon exclusive toy review. Let's go. All right, guys, so this is the DC Multiverse Superman from McFarlane Toys. Now, in case you didn't know, McFarlane Toys just got the license to do these DC figures here last year sometime, and took it over from Mattel, who was doing the DC Multiverse figures, and they were doing them in a 6-inch scale. Now, these McFarlane Toys are brand new. This just came out, literally just picked this up. And these are in a 7-inch scale, so they will not go to scale with your old DC Multiverse figures, if that's what you're hoping for. Now, they will go with other lines, but these are just going to be their own thing. And so that's one of the things that you're going to have to get used to if you're interested in collecting these. But you know what? It's okay, because I think it's all right to have different scales. This is from McFarlane Toys, obviously. McFarlane, they've had some issues in the past where some of their figures were kind of brittle. Some of the joints and the articulation was weird and things fell apart. But I will say this, the Fortnite figures have been great. And I don't collect the Fortnite figures, but my boys do, and they love them. They're durable. And so we're going to put that to the test. Now, this is brand new packaging. I actually dig it. I've heard some people say that they think it's, you know, I don't know, like a little too plain, but I actually dig it. I like the black. I like the white. It's something new finally that is different from what we've seen before. I just happen to have here a Nightwing that we're also going to be reviewing at some point, and so you can see the kind of the difference here in the packaging of what we've had before. I've always said that I really like this blue packaging from what was before from Mattel, but I like the fact that they kept it calling it the Multiverse, and that you can see that it's you know, you can see that it's still a DC thing, you know, that it's not so far out of left field. It's relatively similar, even though it's new packaging. Now, that being said, let's take a closer look at this new packaging. So down here at the bottom, you got it where it says DC Multiverse. I like how crisp and clean this looks. It's not, you know, too flashy, but it seems just right. And then here up at the top, you got 22 moving parts, so 22 points of articulation. And I know that there's some people who like a lot of articulation. You know, I'm not an articulation snob. I will go with whatever they give me, but you know, I don't know if 22 points is too much, if it's not enough. I hear some people complaining. I mean, I don't know how many points of articulation do you really need, because sometimes you get all these extra little joints and stuff, and you got the knees and everything, and I don't know if you need all that really for a figure. But this is only a $20 figure, so to have 22 points of articulation, I think that's pretty good. So up here you have the McFarlane Toys logo with a little spawn thing there. Up at the top, you just have the window where you can look down into the box and see the figure. Here on the front, you'll see Superman. I really dig this S. We're going to talk about that in a minute. You can see how the figures are just a little different from, well, quite a bit different actually from the other Multiverse figures. Looks like we got an extra set of hands in there. Behind here is a little card back there. We'll open it up and see what that looks like, but that's actually a picture from Action Comics 1000. There were many different versions of that cover. So there you go. That's what he looks like in the package from the front. Here's the side. It just says Superman, DC Multiverse. I'm just gonna take this off. It says DC Multiverse, Superman, McFarlane Toys. The other side, pretty much just the same, DC Multiverse. But this one says Action Comics 1000. Here's the bottom with all the legal stuff. Photos are of action figure prototypes. Product specifications subject to change. Please retain packaging for future reference. Now here is the back. McFarlane Toys logo up there. Action Comics 1000, that is what's on the card. There on the inside. I really liked that cover. That was always a really good cover, I thought. Each figure comes with a collectible trading card. What a little bonus. Along the side here, Source Action Comics 1000. So you see from 2018. And then down here, you can collect them all. This is some of the different figures. Now, this text is so tiny. I mean, you guys just don't even know. These pictures are pretty tiny. I don't even know if I can get it to focus. Here we go. Superman, the animated series. It's very much like Justice League, the old cartoons. Here's Superman Unchained Armor. You got Batman. You got the Batman that laughs. They have a vehicle called the Bat Raptor. They have a Harley Quinn action figure in the Jester's costume. They've got another Harley Quinn coming out for the Birds of Prey movie. And they've got a whole other lineup of different characters. They got a Green Lantern from the old Justice League cartoon. They got a Batman from the Justice League cartoon. They have a Nightwing. They have just a lot of different figures coming out, especially in Wave 1. And but here's the thing, McFarlane actually did a live stream just this last week talking about these figures, saying, hey, look, this is our first wave. Give us feedback. We want to know what it is that you guys like, what you don't like. And we've got the license for 3 years, and so we want to make it what you want. So there you go. So hopefully they get some good feedback, and people aren't too critical, as we know from the internet, that, you know, the internet's never too critical about anything. Huh. There you go. So we're going to go ahead and open this up and take a look inside. We're just gonna dig in here. How does this come off? Okay. Oh, look at there. So easy, so nice, just like that. All right. Then it's got a card backing here that you can pull out just like that. This is gone. Now, this is cool. He comes with a flight stand and this card. So we're just gonna open that up here. Unfortunately, you got to peel all this stuff off to get to all this. So we got the base there. Got the flight stand there. There we go. And of course, the card. Superman himself. I'll show you what he looks like here in his little packaging there. Got two hand accessories here. A plastic cape. No S on the back. I like the S, but oh well. And that's what he looks like underneath. Let's go ahead and take him out. It's got a simple little plastic piece here. Take that out. Come on. There we go. And one more. There we go. Love ripping it out. There we go. Now, let's get him all set up. So here's Superman out of the package, and as you can see, first of all, the colors are awesome. Look at how these colors just pop. The reds and the blues and the yellows. It's perfect. I mean, they look great. So as far as color, A+ for sure. Now, here's the thing. We're going to get into this as far as articulation. I don't know that I need all this articulation in a figure. But I'm going to go over here with you guys exactly what articulation he has and what he can do. Let's start here with the face sculpt. This face sculpt is okay. It's supposed to be based on this figure right here. I don't know that it looks so much like that figure. I mean, it doesn't really look like that figure at all. But in any way, it's not really the same face. It's definitely not the same S shield. It's, you know, if it's supposed to be Superman from Action Comics 1000, that's not good. But this is a good figure nonetheless. But this face sculpt, you know, I don't know, it doesn't really look like your classic Superman, if I'm being honest. But the hair is really nice. It's kind of rubbery here. And it's got a nice sculpt to the hair, as you can see here. And then I got a little speck right there that I'm gonna have to try to clean up. But his head does go up and down like so. Let's see if it goes all, yep, it goes all the way around. It's on like a ball joint in there. You can see the space. So I don't know how I feel about that, but you got space underneath his chin there. It's okay. Cape goes pretty interesting into here. I like capes that go into this, and I like this low cut line. I always have. I prefer that, especially opposed to when there's a collar there. So I like that, and it's kind of deep there. So I dig this. This is cool. So there's the head. Here's the arm. It does go up here. Now here's something else that's kind of interesting. They've got these kind of weird shoulders to them, and you can't pull this back to see, but this whole thing here kind of moves. If you can see that, there's like a whole extra little piece there that kind of moves with it. And so this is kind of plugged into that. And that kind of, you can see right there that it moves in and out. That's weird. I don't know if I like that so much. I don't know if I like this shoulder so much, because it actually goes in and comes out. You can see there, it goes in and comes out. It goes in, comes out. I don't know what I think about that, but like I said, it's just a little different. So it's gonna take some, getting used to. It's a new type of figure. So it does go up and down. It will go all the way around as so. It's got a bicep swivel right here. It does go all the way around. Bends at the elbow. These are different kinds of elbows here. You can see here it actually kind of goes out. The elbow's there. Kind of goes concave there. Here is the wrist. Now, he does have replaceable hands, which we'll get into in just a second. Hands spin around like so. These are kind of different. The fact that they go up and down. And then if you pull it out, ooh, that came off really easy actually. So it's actually on that stump right there. You can see here, put that back on. So that's interesting. It came off pretty easy. So I don't know how I feel about that, but we'll get back to this. So the other arm does the exact same thing. As you can see, it also has the in and out function there. Goes around. It's got these, it's got this weird little kind of lip on it there. So does that side. Also has the articulation there at the bicep. Same kind of elbow joint there. Hand goes around, hand goes up, hand goes down. It's kind of a weird thing there. And then this one pops off pretty easily too. So there's that. And these are supposed to be like the flight hands, where you have them kind of up like this. Here are the hands that come with it. So for the left hand, it's a fist like this. That goes on pretty good, except for it kind of looks weird now, right? I mean, is it just me? It looks strange with that ball joint right there being blue. It looks a little strange. It doesn't look like there's much of a wrist. It's just like, it's just hand. And the palm just kind of disappears. Like here, where I have it disappears into my shirt, there's nothing there. It's like right there. And I don't know if I like how that bends, but guess you can do that. So I don't like the fact that there's no wrist at all. There's no wrist in these replacement hands. And really there's no wrist on these hands. It's not a fist, it's kind of like a hand that you can put stuff in, although there are no accessories that you can fit in there. It's just kind of similar, just like that. So you got a fist and no wrist. A fist and no wrist. There you go. All right, something else that's new for these figures is there's no real ab crunch. I mean, I think it does do an ab crunch of some kind, but it's not the traditional. It's kind of on a ball joint here. So it will go all the way around, but it's unusual. It's just different. You got the whole upper body there, and then you got the waist. He does go around at the hips. Now I kind of like this. I don't know. It's kind of different where you have the trunks, but the trunks you can actually see down in there. And I guess that's part of my issue with some of this is it's not as streamlined actually. I mean, because there's gaps. You can see down in there, so you can actually kind of pull it up and you can see down in there. And I don't know how I feel about that. You know, articulation is great, but it kind of suspends the realism of the structure of the body if you can see down in there and see up into his, you know, neck. I don't know, but I do like the belt. The belt is cool. The trunks are designed well. I like this a whole lot better than the NECA figure that I've seen where the trunks get really tiny. You see under here, so his legs, his thigh will go up and around, but it's kind of weird and you got to be careful with it. It's a totally different hinge system than we're used to with these figures. As you can see, not as streamlined. And again, you can see up into the figure. It's kind of weird. He does not have a swivel here at the thigh. He does have a double bending knee, as you can see there. He does not have a swivel at the boot. No swivel at the boot. Although it looks like he should because there's like a little bit of a gap there. And now he's got this weird ankle and foot. Try not to be negative because I actually really like this, but it's just so different. It's so unusual. But it's on a ball joint there, and so you got to kind of position it because what do you want to be seen, right? And how do you want it to go? So it kind of looks a little weird there with the boot. It will go up and down though. He does have a toe bend. As you can see, you can actually do all that. So you can stand him up in some very different types of poses. Goes down a little bit there, but we'll go up flat. And the exact same thing for the other side. No swivel on the thigh, but he does have a double bending knee. Whoa, boot to the face. Double bending knee. This goes around. Same kind of foot there, up, boom, 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 bam, just like that. Now, like I said, I don't think this is a negative thing. I just think that it's just unusual and it's different, and it's going to take some getting used to that these are basically what our figures are going to look like now with this type of articulation. But now I want to get to what my favorite part really of this figure is, and that is the flight stand. For a $20 figure to come with a flight stand, and not just a stand, it is a stand where you can just stand him on there, but what's cool is you can actually pose him and put him in flight. For a $20 figure, that's really cool, and it's got the DC logo on it. You slide this in right here. So the question is, will this be sturdy enough to hold him? This piece comes up just like that. And I believe this, yeah, so that just opens. And there you go. That's pretty cool. For a $20 figure to come with a flight stand like that. I don't have actually a flight stand for any of my other Superman figures. So I dig this. This is pretty cool. And you know, there's just all kinds of different poses that you could put him in. I also want to show you here that the flight stand is not just do straight up and down, but that it actually moves. So you can actually pose Superman in flight because it does have this this ball joint here. And so I really like this because this is how now I want to pose this Superman just like that. Look at that. How cool is that, folks? Oh, that's super nice. No pun intended. Now, also, I want to talk about this S. This S is sweet. It's got almost like a metallic finish to it, so it does stand out against kind of the matte painting of the figure itself. And so I like it. It really makes it pop, and it was one of the selling points of the figure. It's nice and big. I just love it. I just love it. The only thing that can make this figure any better for me, like from a Superman standpoint, I mean, check that out, guys. What a great pose, right? The only thing that can make this figure better for me is if it had the yellow S on the back, because I do like it. So it does come with a rubber cape, which for some people that's an issue. For me, it's not really an issue because some of my favorite Superman figures actually have a rubber cape. You know, there's obviously not a lot you can do with it besides what it is, but you know, if you have a cloth goods cape, sometimes there's not a lot you can do with those either. And so it just kind of is what it is, but it's a good mold for the cape itself. and it looks good. It's flowing nice and looks really nice. Well, now let's compare this figure with some other Superman figures. So I've got a pretty good cross section of different Superman figures to compare this new Multiverse figure to. I have the DC Multiverse Justice League Superman that had a hybrid of the plastic cape going into the costume there, and then of course it had the soft goods. It's the Henry Cavill version. I've got the Superman Rebirth Superman here, and then of course I've got this New Frontier Superman that I picked up in Seattle just a few weeks ago. And so as you can see here, the first thing you're going to notice right off the bat, obviously 7-inch scale. 6-inch scale, and even this the Rebirth Superman is a little bit taller than the Henry Cavill Superman, and actually this New Frontier Superman is actually a little bit bigger than the Henry Cavill Superman as well. But this figure is like a full inch bigger than the old DC, universe figures, which were 6-inch scale. So this is a big figure. I've got a big hand, folks, and I wear a size 15 ring, and this Superman is really, really large. So let's go ahead and take a close-up of this Superman compared to some of the others. As far as face sculpt, obviously these are much more realistic in the face sculpt. I mean, you can see here the paint is much better. The hair, there's much more detail in the hair than this Rebirth Superman, which was the last one to come out. The texture in the S, it's still to be debated about what you think about the ab crunch or no ab crunch. But now seeing it next to each other, you can really see the quality detail that's now in this. It's like you kind of take it for granted just opening it up, but you can see now the quality detail that's there. And then of course, next to the Henry Cavill one, the Henry Cavill Superman does have some good texture in the hair. And there's some good texture in the suit and whatnot. And I actually kind of like this figure. I like the variations of this figure. I don't really care for this one in particular because of the cape situation, but you can see here that this McFarlane toy is the same price point as this toy, as this Justice League and this Rebirth. And yet there's a lot more going on here with the McFarlane toy. So you're getting, I think, a lot more articulation. You're getting a lot more quality for your money. Now the question is will that continue as we get new characters and new things? And of course, I just wanted to pull this figure out because I had not yet done anything with this figure, and I got this figure, like I said, a few weeks ago, and it's just a really cool figure. But as you can see here, that one's made to be more cartoony anyways. But this figure looks good. This Superman looks pretty awesome. So I'll just say this, doing the early part of this review, I was kind of, not really appreciating this figure probably as much as I should have. And I will say this, by the end of this review, now comparing it to the other figures, this figure's awesome. I mean, yes, it's a little clunky. It's a little weird to pose it sometimes because it takes an awful long time to pose it because of all these articulation points. With all these articulation points, everything wants to kind of bend, and the legs don't want to be the same length because of this ball joint at the bottom, and you got to kind of move it around and do things to it. But once you get this thing to stand up, it's staying. It's trying to get it there. And it's kind of working with all the funky positions and stuff like that that's going to make it hard because it just is what it is, but it's kind of things that you sacrifice to have more articulation points, I guess. So there he is, folks. That is your Todd McFarlane version of the new DC Multiverse Superman. He is just the first in many figures that I'm sure we will be seeing come out here shortly. For $20, I don't think you can go wrong. I think it's a good figure. It's a good sturdy figure for $20. It looks great. It's a big figure, like I've said. But I think it's going to be enjoyable, and I'm going to love having this actually on my desk in the flight stand. So there you go. So there you have it, guys. That is my review of the DC Multiverse Superman from McFarlane Toys. What did you guys think of this figure? Do you guys like this figure? Or maybe you thinking about going out and purchasing some of these figures in this new McFarlane era, as it were, of toys? Let me know, all right? I know a lot of you who are already part of the Patreon, you're already part of us on social media, but if you're not a part of us on social media, please follow us on social media where we can have conversations, we can talk about this stuff, you can share pictures of your toys with me, I can share pictures of my toys with you, we can talk, we can set up a date where we all get together and swap toys, I don't know, we'll do something, but hey, just know that I appreciate each and every one of you so much. I can't say it enough. We're so thankful to you guys. And so if you like this idea of doing the toy reviews exclusively here on the Patreon channel, let me know, okay? I'd love to hear from you about that. I'd love to get your ideas. If there's stuff that you would like to see from us, from my family, or from the Poindexter Lounge that you think would be cool to just have here on the Patreon, let me know, okay? Because I want to do this for you guys. I want to make it worthwhile for you guys to keep coming back to the Patreon. Anyways, I want to keep you guys coming back every month, and I want you guys to be satisfied with what you get for what you're giving us. All right. So thank you guys so much. Again, can't express it enough. I'm going to sound like a broken record thanking you guys, but it just means a lot to me that you guys care enough that you actually support the channel. All right, in any way that you do. All right, guys. Until next time, my name is Enosh, saying I'll see you in the toy aisle. Bye-bye. Hey guys, if you made it this far in the video, you are awesome. Thank you guys so much for your support. Please smash that like button and of course subscribe, and also hit that notifications bell so that you are aware when we put out new videos, which is like all the time. Thanks for being a part of the Poindexter Lounge, and we'll see you next time.